Good morning. This is Norma Cowie for Norma Talks. This is take two. I just started and I'd forgotten to turn my phone off and the phone rang. So it's quite a loud ring. So anyway, I had to stop. So this is take two. What I was saying actually when the phone rudely interrupted me was that when you have a belief in an energy force that's loving and supportive, and whatever name you call it, whatever way you perceive it, it is easier to move into self-forgiveness because it is easier to accept yourself, where you're at, what you've done or not done, and forgive yourself because you can move into connect with that loving force. You can become whole with it. You can feel that it loves you regardless of what. It has no judgment, and therefore it's easier to finally come along and say, I forgive myself. So I had to forgive myself immediately for not turning the phone off, something I usually do. But I do like to begin these on Sunday morning by 9 o'clock, if a little later, like I am today now, because I have to go back in and delete the previous one. But I wanted to get this done because the importance of self-forgiveness. We're not perfect. Sorry, but we're not. We have emotions, and sometimes emotions rule our heads, and we act without thinking or considering other people or the outcome of our actions. So therefore, it becomes important to be able to really clear the slate for yourself. Because what I find in my work, a lot of people carry regret, guilt. I brought it back to me because I did a regression yesterday, a past life regression for somebody yesterday. And how important it is not to take all the guilt and the regret you have from one life to another. Because very often when that begins to happen, you have lifetime after lifetime after lifetime. And I mean that seriously, lifetime. It just gets, it's almost unbelievable how you get trapped by recreating the same things. So how do we forgive that? Now, at the time of death, you can forgive yourself totally. But if you're not in the practice of it, you don't really connect to the loving force. If you're not really aware of how much you're actually loved, if you're not aware that this force is there to guide you, to help you, support you, then you don't always let go the regret and the guilt that I find are the two main things at the end of a life that a person is associated with. The more we can clear that, because we do screw up. Unless you're a paragon of virtue, I don't know anybody that doesn't screw up at some point. Make a decision that later you may regret. Do something like leave your phone on that you regret, because now I always find it a little difficult to figure out how I have to delete the one I just put up. But the simple thing is to recognize self-forgiveness is a part of your journey. And it's easier when you have an awareness that there is a force that does not judge you, that does not hold anything against you, that loves you and just wants you to be who you truly are. It wants to bring the best of you. So it's really a matter of coming into understanding. Yes, I'm just a human. I'm working through my life. Now, if you were like me, I would speak without thinking so many times, and I even do it sometimes now, because it only was years later I began to realize I am a channeler. So it's like when sometimes I'm just in the moment, I start channeling without realizing. I do now know the difference, and I keep a kind of watch on that. And so what I would say often, people were a little taken back or maybe hurt. It wasn't not my intention to do that. It just, the truth burst out of me. Of course, as the years went by, I became aware of that and managed to work with that. And when I channel, when I'm reading or when I'm channeling per se, which I haven't done for a couple of years now, but it's like I'm aware. And so I can, we're just having a conversation, I don't have to be overridden by this instinct to say certain things. Also, too, I've had a death that was very important to me. When my daughter died, and I had to forgive myself for a lot of things. Um, maybe I could have picked up what was going on earlier and said something. Maybe I could have done this. A lot of maybes. Or if I'd only done this, or if I'd only said that. Sometimes going back many, many, many years, I would think, oh gosh, I sensed that. Why did I not say something? But for self-forgiveness, I find is one of the most, well, how can I explain that? Relieving. Instead of walking around feeling guilty and down and sad and beating yourself up all the time. I was really good at doing that, but it was like I had to let all that go. I had to come to a point of recognizing that in the bigger picture, that me feeling guilty about things I did or didn't do or didn't say and should have said or could have said, that all it did was keep me separated. It kept me sad, kept me not really being true to who I am. So I want you to look at your life and just see, what are you carrying? Sometimes some people write a letter. They write themselves a letter and forgive themselves in that. For me, it's much easier for me to give it over to the power and love and feel that space, that energy where I was holding on to can be let go, so that more love and light can come in and be more aware and true. So yeah, here we are, third Sunday of this new year, and I hope the weather's better where you are. Ours is still cool. We're not cold, we're cool, and cloudy. So it's not finished yet, which I would imagine January and February are always our real tough winter months. But knowing that light is always there. I heard in a lecture once, and I grabbed hold of this. No matter what the skies are, behind the skies, the sun is shining, or somewhere in the world it's shining, and it will shine on you again. And sometimes it just doesn't get through. And if you consider that warmth of the sun is like the loving energy, is like that. It warms you. It reminds you that you're loved, that you're cared for, that there is space for you to be human, to be a person, to make mistakes, and that it's all forgiven. So therefore, you're the key. If you're thinking and realizing that you're going to be living another life at some point in time, you don't want all that guilt and that regret and that feelings of emotion. You don't want to be taking that with you. You want to be letting that go, so you're coming in with a fairly new slate. So just think about that today. Just take a moment and think, what are you carrying? What have you got? What knapsack do you have on your back that's full of things that you just need to forgive yourself for and let go, so that you're freed up to be all that you can be? I want to thank you for this. And now I have to go delete where the phone came in. But anyway, it's like I want you to be aware that life is more than the difficulties that we carry within ourselves. Life is more. You are a human. You are an emotional being. And no matter how much you try to be in your head and have it all analyzed, it's the feelings that are really important. So know you're loved, even if you can't feel it, it is there. And know that you can let go and just allow light, love, beingness to come inside. You have a great day, a great week. I'll be back on Wednesday. And I always forget tomorrow night. Monday night, mental mind treatments. We're growing, where so more and more people are watching, are coming and attending, and I appreciate that. I appreciate everybody. If you just listen to any one of my talks or whatever it is I'm doing. You have a great day. Bye now.